Hi guys, tonight we are making beef and noodles, and because I have an excess amount of big zucchini, they're just all coming ready to pick and getting huge before I can keep up with them. So we're going to bread the zucchini and fry them because that's how my family likes them. I'm going to bring you over here. Let's start by me explaining what I've done with the beef and noodles. I took stew meat and I put butter and a little bit of olive oil, and I fried it with chopped up onions and chopped up garlic. When it was browned, trying to hold this, when it was browned, I added in the beef bouillon seasoning and beef broth, a big thing of beef broth, and I added in my garden peas. And I'm just going to let this simmer. Okay, I'm just going to let this simmer. We're going to be adding in a can of cream of mushroom soup. And if you have a can or a jar of mushrooms, you can add that too, drained. But right now, the process that I'm at, I'm just going to let this cook and get really tender, you know, so the stew meat breaks apart. Right now, it's not cooked long enough to where if I broke a piece apart, it would be pink in the middle. So we're just going to let that cook, and I have it on kind of a low setting and just let it simmer. Okay. Now, for the zucchini, I put in 2 cups of white flour. I put in a cup and a half of Italian breadcrumbs. I put in a cup and a half of cornmeal. Then I dumped in garlic powder, and I just added, right here, Italian seasoning. And I'm going to mix that through with some salt and pepper. This is my flour mixture that after I flour the zucchini, I got to make up my egg and my heavy cream mixture that I can, you know, first put the zucchini in the flour, dry flour, and then I'm going to dip it in the egg wash. And then I'm going to put it in here and press down on it and make a plate up, and that will be for frying. So I'm going to get salt and pepper, and then I'm going to mix this gently with my fingers. It already has the cornmeal, it already has the Italian breadcrumbs, it already has garlic powder. This is pepper. This is salt. And this is Himalayan salt I'm using, but you can use any salt that you prefer. And I'm going to gently mix this together. Okay, and get another bowl because I have to make my egg wash, and I use heavy cream and eggs. These are my farm fresh eggs. I use a milk frother for my heavy whipped cream. And occasionally I get shells in my eggs. I'll start with that, 5 eggs. And I'll put in my heavy cream. Put these on a plate to dry because I crush them up. Put them in my garden. And wash my hands real quick. stirring my broth and my beef and my peas and my seasonings. And where's my whisk? There's a whisk. See if I can get in here so that you can see better what I'm doing. There we go. I find that the breaded zucchini works better and it holds the flour. If you make your mixture, your egg wash, thick, like pancake mix, that is why I use heavy whipped cream to mix with the eggs. And with the cream being super cold, helps to keep it thick. Lay that there, put the eggs. Okay. So here's the process, folks, for those of you that have never made this before. You want to put dry flour that has no seasoning or anything on the zucchini piece first, okay? Then you dip it into the egg and immerse it on both sides so it's covered with egg. Just like that. Both sides. Kind of let the excess run off a little bit. I always take a hand of the flour and move it aside. Drop it in, sprinkle on top, and gently press it. And I do the sides as well because I want everything breaded. This is how my family likes it here in the Midwest. And you just keep dipping it in the flour, in the seasoning. It's got the cornmeal, it's got Italian breadcrumbs, garlic, salt and pepper, and Italian seasoning. And this is what it looks like on both sides. Okay? And I'm going to set that on my plate. I'm going to do another piece. Put it in the egg mixture, flip it over, pick it up, let it drain off some excess. I pick a handful of the flour up, I drop it, I sprinkle it on top, I pat it down gently, flip it, put more flour in the mixture seasoning on top, press it, pick it up, roll it on its side because you'll still have wet egg wash batter on the sides. And I just kind of press it to the zucchini piece. Okay? Sorry, the fly flew across my screen. So I'm going to finish doing these, and I'm going to finish simmering the beef stew meat and the onions and all that, and then I'll bring you back. Okay guys, I got the zucchini all breaded. Let's see if I can find it on the counter to show you. Right here. Let me turn the light on so you can see. They're all breaded, but they're not fried yet. Here is the pot with the stew meat and the peas and the onions and the garlic and the beef bouillon or beef flavoring and the beef broth. Now I'm going to bring you back so that we can do together the rest of the ingredients for beef stroganoff or beef and noodles. Okay, the ingredients that I have that I'm going to use is a huge can of beef cream of mushroom condensed soup. It can be generic, doesn't matter. I also have a small can of sliced mushrooms. I'm going to drain this before this goes into my beef and noodles. And before we do that, we are going to use Lipton Beefy Onion Soup Mix. It's dry mix. This flavors it unbelievably, out of this world. Dump that in there. This is what it looks like. Just one packet. I'm going to open this and drain my mushrooms. And we're going to put the mushrooms in here. Okay. Now we're going to open up the cream of mushroom soup. I'm going to turn my heat back on to low. And I'm going to get a small spatula. Here's a little one. Here, I want a little spatula. And I'm going to put this in there. Throw that away. Okay, get my wooden spoon. We're going to break up. Let me bring you up here. We are going to break up the cream of mushroom soup and mix it around. Let it cook down a little bit. Smells out of this world already. Now instead of the store-bought beef broth, if you have some canned, use that. That would taste out of this world. So we're going to mix that around. We're going to turn the heat up to medium. I'm going to let this kind of break down a little bit so it ain't clumpy, the cream of mushroom soup. And I'm going to stir it a few more times. Then I'm going to add the noodles. The noodles are going to absorb a lot of the liquid that's in here. So we may have to add a little bit of water to give the noodles enough liquid to get soft, because I'm not going to boil the noodles separate. I'm just going to cook it right within the beef noodle mixture. I want to bring this up to temperature so it can cook the noodles and break down the cream of mushroom soup that we added. I'm going to grab a spoon because I always periodically taste my food through the process. That's good. It needs a little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper. Put some pepper in here. And we're going to put some Himalayan pink salt. You use whatever salt you prefer. Mix this around, and then I'll taste it again to see if it's got enough salt and pepper in it. I'll do it this way. That's perfect. So we're going to bring that up to like a medium high. And just kind of let it get going. I can't even pronounce how you say this. Essenhaus. I think that's how you say their name. Essenhaus. I get this at Walmart in the noodle aisle. Home style noodles, and it shows like Amish people on it, extra wide. If you make your own noodles and you have a bunch dried and you have them put up, use your widest egg noodle that you've made. I do a lot of semi-home cooking. I don't have the time or the energy anymore at my age to do everything from scratch. It's exhausting. I have such respect for our ancestors that had no choice. They didn't have markets they could go to buy stuff pre-made. So dump your noodles into your mixture. Phew, excuse me. Gently mix this around because you don't want to break your noodles all up to be just crumbs. Get it all emerged underneath the liquid. And we're going to cover this. And we're not done. We've got one more ingredient to add to this before it's finished. But I have to let the noodles cook and become soft and absorb most of the liquid in here. I'm going to keep checking this and stirring it, and you're going to want to turn your heat down a little bit now that the noodles are in there. And we're just going to put the lid on this, and we're going to let it simmer until the noodles are soft. And then I'll bring you back and show you the last step to this delicious beef and noodle dish. In the meantime, I'm going to get the canola oil going and get it up to 325 degrees. And then I'm going to start frying my breaded zucchini right here. So I'll bring you guys back. Okay guys, everything's basically done. I'm on my last few zucchinis. So I'm going to plate up some beef and noodles for my son. And I'm going to give him a couple of the fried zucchini. And that's the meal, folks. Let's see if I can zoom in so you can see it. Right here. It's good and it smells fantastic. I'm going to go take it to him now, and we're going to sit down and enjoy our dinner, folks. Until next time, blessings and have a great day. And remember, don't get stressed out about cooking. If you're really short on the amounts of meat and the amount of noodles you have, and you need to feed a lot of people, pour the beef and noodles over toast. That helps fill the gut for less money. Alright guys, see you next time. Have a great day.